Alright you guys, so I'm just going to jump right into this video. So this is a wig from RPGSHOW, and I'm going to have all the specifics down below so you guys can go check that out. This is the parting space. It goes 6 inches back. It's a pre-plucked hairline, but I did go ahead and pluck a little bit more out of the hairline just to make it a little bit more natural. I cut off the lace around the hairline, as you can see. But yeah, the wig itself looks really nice. And it comes in a 200% density, but I cut out a few tracks just to make it look a little more natural because it was a full wig when I got it. So a little bit too full for me. So I probably would have liked 100% density or 130 maybe. But this is the inside of the wig. I bleached the knots. It comes with 3 combs. And yeah, so that's the wig. So in this video, I'm going to show you guys my first time trying out the GOT2B glued method of laying down your lace front wig. I usually use an elastic band to put on my wigs. I never glue down my wigs, or I never gel it down. So this is a first for me. You're going to see a lot of things that I probably could change and work on, definitely could change and work on, but I wanted to show you guys my first impressions of this method and how it worked for me first time around. So I'm just going to put on the wig and see where it lays and where I need to put the glue, or not the glue, where the GOT2B glued gel needs to go. So that's what you see me doing here. And yeah, so this is what it looks like just laying on my head with nothing, no product. So you can see the hairline looks really nice before I glue it down, so that's a plus. But I think this wig, the wig cap is a little bit too small for me, because even though I pull it all the way forward, my hairline still is right there near the wig hairline. So I think I just have a big head and I need a bigger wig cap. So the first thing I'm going to do is get the GOT2B glued spray, the freezing spray, and just slick back my baby hairs and my little flyaways before I put on the gel. So yeah, that's what you see me doing here. Alright, so after I slick down my baby hairs, I get the black bottle of the GOT2B glue gel, and I just start putting it all around my hairline. I don't put too much for the first time. Like I said, this is my first time, so I don't really know how much to put. So I'm just kind of putting a thin layer the first time. After I put the gel, I put the freezing spray, just a layer of that on top, and just a thin layer, and then I kind of, use my finger to just smooth it out a little bit. And then off camera, I use my hair dryer just to dry it. So the first time around, I blow dry it fully, and then this is my second layer of the gel. And then I go off camera again and use my blow dryer to dry it. But as you're gonna see, I dried it a little bit too much. So that's something I need to work on, like knowing how long to dry it, because I thought it was tacky, but it was just too dry. So my wig didn't stay down all the way. But yeah, you're gonna see that later on. So I'm going to go dry it with my hair dryer. I'm back. And so what you're going to need now is, this isn't a tutorial, so I don't know why I'm telling you that. But this is what I'm using. So I'm using a rat tail comb and a little clip just to keep the hair out of my face. So I throw the wig back on, literally, and I clip the 2 top wig combs in my hair, and my 2 braids on the side. And this is me pulling the wig like tight on my head. So right here, I'm pulling it, and that's pretty much as far as it goes forward. So, and you're going to see my natural hairline is still sticking out forward. So like I said, I think I need a bigger wig cap. Yeah, the size of the wig cap. It just doesn't fit my head correctly. But it's not a big deal. Yeah, so I'm laying down the wig. I'm pressing it down onto the gel. And I use the rat tail comb to kind of just like slide the lace down onto the gel and trying to make it stick, but you're going to see it's still kind of raising up. So this part right here, the part that I'm pushing down right there on top of my forehead, that's the only part that looks good to me. All the rest of the parts of my hairline could use some work, could definitely use some work. Yeah, so if you have any tips on how, I've watched so many videos, but I couldn't seem to get this right. So yeah, if you have any tips on how, I don't know, just any tips for me, just go ahead and leave them in the comments below. Like I said, this is the first time I've done this, so it was hard for me. It was definitely harder than it looks. If the wig cap fit my head, I feel like it would have looked a lot better, but I couldn't pull the wig any further, like onto my forehead, so that didn't help at all. But I think it looks okay for my first time. But yeah, so that part right there looks the best in my opinion, and then all the other parts are a little iffy. But yeah, so this is what the hair looks like. I'm gonna go ahead and tie up the hairline just to press it down and see if that will help it at all, but I'll be back after this. So after a little bit of time and hoping that it's dried and laid down, I go ahead and take off that scarf and check the hairline, and as you're gonna see, it's still a little bit lifted in some parts. I mean, what are you gonna do? So right there, I could have sprayed underneath there, but I just didn't want it to be a huge crusty mess. So I just left it, and right here I'm just doing a little bit of baby hairs just to kind of cover up the edge of the lace around the hairline. I found that this helped actually a little bit more to make it a little bit more natural. So I'm just taking like the smallest amount of hair on the hairline and cutting it, not tiny little baby hairs, but just enough to make a little bit fuzzy around the hairline, you know? So yeah, I do the same thing to that side. That side was a lost cause, that side. My edges were all the way out, but whatever. I can always try again. So I take some powder foundation and I kind of just go around and just try to make it, you know, blend in a little bit more, look a little bit more seamless. So yeah, that's what you see me doing here. Then I go in with my bronzer and just fix up my makeup around my hairline a little bit. Then I take my curling iron just to flatten down the part in the middle of my head and just flatten down the top just so it doesn't look so wiggy. It still looks a little wiggy, but this is my first time doing this method, and you know, practice makes better, so I know my second time will be a lot better. But yeah, so this is it turned out a lot better than I thought. Actually, that's a lie. I thought it was going to look a lot better than this, but my second time will be a lot better, I hope. But I'm giving myself a side part just so I can cover up the right side of my hairline, because that's where my natural edges are poking out. So I just wanted to cover that little part up. But yeah, so this is the hair with water in it, and I'm just defining my curls. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoy this video. Please leave any constructive criticism and comments down below. Thanks for watching, guys.